Welcome to MTG Basics, where we teach you the basics of MTG. In this video, we're going to be talking about enchantments. You know, the permanent that just kind of chills there being a freeloader. Enchantments are permanents that provide continuous effects to players' permanents, or have triggered abilities. So first things first, what is the difference between a continuous effect and a triggered ability, you may ask? A continuous effect is an effect that stays on the battlefield as long as that permanent stays in play. For our purposes, an enchantment. A triggered ability is an ability that automatically does something when an event, action, or set of conditions are met. Let's look at a few examples of continuous effects and triggered abilities to familiarize ourselves. Looking at Glorious Anthem, one can see that this card reads, creatures you control get +1/+1. So if you had a Siege Rhino on the battlefield, its power and toughness would be a 5/6 as long as the Glorious Anthem remains on the battlefield. This effect happens right as Glorious Anthem successfully enters the battlefield. No actions are necessary for this effect to happen, and they continue to happen so long as the permanent remains on the battlefield. Another example of an enchantment with a continuous effect is Greater Oromancy. Similarly to Glorious Anthem, this effect happens right as the card successfully enters the battlefield. No other actions are required. Now that we have taken a look at enchantments that have a continuous effect, let's look at enchantment with triggered abilities. Phyrexian Arena is a great example. This card reads, at the beginning of your upkeep, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. This is a triggered ability because once it's the beginning of your upkeep, this ability will happen because an event/condition has been met. The condition for this card is beginning of your upkeep. Similarly, by looking at Burgeoning, whenever an opponent plays a land, you may put a land card onto the battlefield. This is a triggered ability because once an opponent plays a land, you have the option to put a land onto the battlefield. So the condition/event for this triggered ability is your opponent playing a land. Resemblant to the other permanents, enchantments can be creatures, artifacts, lands, and who knows, maybe one day there'll be an enchantment planeswalker. Some enchantments can enchant permanents you or your opponents control. These types of enchantments will say enchant X, like All That Glitters, or Wolf Willow Haven. Lastly, there are a few different types of enchantments and each have their theme and flavor. A few examples are auras, curses, runes, sagas, and shrines. These were the basics to enchantments and should get you to enchant your friends or foes. If you have any questions or comments, let us know down below in the comment section. Thank you for watching and tune in next time to learn more MTG Basics.